Welcome, everybody. Woo! Bow. We're back, baby. We are back. Episode 5 of the Let's Be Real show here on TJ Warren TV. Make sure you are smashing the likes, commenting, subscribing, all the things if you are watching on Watchback. In fact, on playback, not Watchback, playback. Where's my head right now, man? Unbelievable. But yeah, big up everybody inside. Make sure you are smashing likes. We already got a lot. We already got a couple of likes. We got people inside. Mr. Post Office, Carl Rossi, Tony, AJ, all the regs are in here. Of course, we thank Stephanie and Steven for stopping by as well. But this is look, it says my name on here, but this is Connor's show. Okay. Connor set the agenda for today, which is decidedly anti-Man United and Chelsea.
And Newcastle.
And like a little bit of Newcastle, but like not so much. But you know what? I feel like we talk about Tottenham way too much on this channel. Yeah, we can always talk about Arsenal. We can talk about Arsenal at the end. But I think with our other rivals need a little bit of FaceTime here on this channel. Let's pee off more people on this platform. You know how many times how many times I've been called a clown because I ragged on Man United this week? Like a lot. The comments were unforgiving on Monday for Staffy's show.
I think so.
But anyway,
fans are a bit sensitive right now.
Yeah, people are a little sensitive. It's fine. It's fine. Just because I have something negative to say about your club doesn't mean I deserve to get called a clown.
It's the music,
like,
isn't it?
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
But anyway, big up everybody inside. It doesn't bother me. I just think it's funny. But let's talk about Man United. Let's talk about, there was a lot of people on Twitter, Connor, and of course we don't want to use people on Twitter because Twitter is a wasteland nightmare.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of sheiks from the Man United side. There was a lot of, sheik inner some name here that went away on Twitter. Like the sheiks are gone now. What happened?
The Glazer family. I think it's as simple as that, really. Do you know what? We talk about, how much we at times really dislike the Cronkies, but it's at times like this where I think maybe we're kind of lucky to have these guys. It's just a little bit, because we know the Cronkies aren't the perfect owners. They're not like the likes of the Man City or the Newcastle owners, not in terms of how much money they've got, but just in terms of the way they work with the club. Even teams lower down in the league that have really good owners that take care of the club, like Brighton, for example, so even Brentford, my local team. So, it's down to the Glazers and the fact they just want more money. It's simple. I mean, I don't get how you can reject more than how much you're worth. The way I see it is they just want to tear down that club. Like, I just don't get it, because the only way I could see the Glazers earning more money than usual, I saw a thing in the news the other day in the UK. In 2025, they're going to show all the games bar 3:00 kickoffs. Because in the UK, we don't show 3:00 kickoffs. I know you guys get them over in the US.
Yeah, we do.
So like 2:00 kickoffs, the other games will be shown here in the UK. I think that's it. So they've added a couple more games. So that's the way they're going to bring in more money. But if I was a Man United fan, I wouldn't even. I know it sounds quite rich because I'm an Arsenal fan, but I wouldn't even bother supporting them anymore, because they are going not down, but like they're heading on a down route. Because I mean, you got to look at it in a sense, right? It's not good for the club. I.e., if I look at internally, the stadium's awful. It is one of the most historical stadiums and most brilliant stadiums in the whole of football. But it looks awful. And the state of some of the stuff going on inside the stadium, it is just such a mess. But then I look away from that and I look at the business that they do at Man United. They spend a lot of money every single year. So you can't. One thing I don't like to see from Man United fans is, personally for me, Man United fans, when they criticize how much money, well, we don't get the right players, blah, 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 we don't get this, we don't get that. You got to look at it and be real. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
The Glazers do pump money into transfers. You can't deny that. They're spending over 150, 200 million pounds a season, easily. So, and I know you can say, oh, it's Man United, we should be doing that. But they could be putting in 50 if they want to. You know, they're still pumping in money to let you buy these signings. You know, and I know people can say, "Oh, but Amrabat was a loan; we couldn't afford him." But they're still giving. You've still got the money to still go out and buy those players. That's the only positive I'd take out the Glazers. But imagine that. Imagine that was us. A five, not as in 5 billion for Glazers, but how much is the Qataris worth? More than the Saudis for Newcastle? Like, that must hurt a lot.
I mean, the amount of chess that these guys were talking with about like the Sheik coming in and saving the club, and this is gonna be a new resurrection of Man United. We're gonna be the next city, only better.
Yeah,
you know, all of this stuff. Like look, there are some people like Flawless, like, you know, I really enjoy, but there are other folks out there that were like basically putting on the headdress and saying like, yes, we finally got what we needed. When this negotiation had been going on for well over a year. This is hilarious. For well over a year, and nothing was getting done. So obviously the Qataris had to back away. And what I think it means for the long term of the club is that there's no long-term plan. There's no, from an ownership perspective, they're so lost in the sauce of trying to sell the club, not trying to sell the club, trying to sell bits and pieces of the club, retaining majority ownership or not retaining majority ownership. They're not bothered by the product on the pitch. They're not.
No.
Like they could not be fucked to fix Old Trafford. No. They couldn't. And that could be one of the best stadiums, obviously historically. If you expanded that stadium, it could be one of the best stadiums in Europe.
I agree.
But they refuse to do so. So, you know, it's a relic, and it's not in good terms. You know what I mean? Like you could talk about Stamford Bridge, you could talk about you know, Craven Cottage, you can talk about Turf Moor, like all these stadiums that really do have a lot of history to them.
Yeah.
But they're continuously expanded on, they're continuously upgraded, and Trafford has not gotten that not gotten that treatment. No. And so that's really the main. So if you're not willing to invest in your club infrastructure, how do you expect to attract players? How do you expect to entice players and coaches and managers to this club outside of just the fact that it's Manchester United? Like, people are going to come over there and just be like, holy shit, this place is a dump. This wasn't what I envisioned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
People have seen, well, look at the managers that they've had over the years that have come and tried to do a job and they've failed. I mean, I look at it now, and as much as I do think Ten Hag, I don't think he's the best manager in the world. I definitely think he's a manager with a plan, and he's not a rookie. He knows how to manage a football team, but he ain't going to be there for long. And it's unfortunate because I feel like Man United recently just seem to waste managers now and then. I think they just sort of just bin them in and out, you know, change it all around. You know, it's a bit like, don't like to mention, it's a bit like Spurs, get rid of a manager every single now and then. You know, I think if Ten Hag had a good long run at United, as much as they've fallen off in terms of results and all this kind of stuff, I do think that he does deserve a shot. But knowing United, they'll probably sack him come end of the season. I could put money down that I think he'll be out of that job come the end of the season. So
I don't think he makes it past January.
I honestly, TJ, I wouldn't be surprised. And then they'll get an interim in like they did with Ralph Rangnick, and then it all goes back to where it was again. And then, listen, there's so much wrong with that club. It is crazy. You know, apparently there were things coming out saying that players have said the training facility is the worst they've ever seen. They've seen better in League Two sides. It's that bad. So, and Man United are screwed because, like you said, TJ, imagine attracting players into that club now. Because now Manchester City are the team that if you got the likes of, like, for example, who brought up there, AJ, saying about, I saw this, the Qataris looking to bring in Mbappe, Camavinga and Kingsley Coman.
Yep.
Now, look at it in hindsight, if now the Sheiks aren't coming into Man United. If that's Mbappe, do I go to Manchester United, who's got loads of rich history, the most successful club in England, but the stadium's horrible, the owners are awful, the fans around the club are hating everything at the moment, or do I go to Manchester City with not as much success, but more success recently, better manager, better owners, better facilities? I'm going to go choose Man City. That's just the case of it now. And even if the Sheikhs did come in, as much as I do think they would obviously change everything for Man United, it just seemed when I saw it and I looked at it in hindsight, and I know we had the Saudis were coming to Newcastle, and they've changed everything. It just seemed too good to be true for me for Manchester United, just because of who the Glazers are as people and how they treat that club, and it's just how I feel sorry for the Sheikhs, because I don't get how you can waste someone's time like that when they've offered you more than you're actually worth as people. We know how.
And more than I heard that it cleared a lot of like growth potential value as well, because when you pay for when you try to buy a club, you also pay for potential, right? You pay for the brand, you pay for the valuation plus.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying, and they were paying way over that, and they held on for some reason, like so where my, and I don't mean to interrupt you, where my frustration would be from a United, if I was a United fan, if I was deranged like that, right? If I was a United fan, I would be, okay, so you guys aren't willing to accept the money for a club, for an owner that we know is going to grow the club, because these Middle Eastern, barons, wherever, state owners, oil barons, what have you, they want to win. That's all they want to do. These are pet projects for them. Yep. It's a business, but it's not. Like, they don't need this club as a money generating thing. They want to win. It is a competition to them. Whereas for the Glazers, it's a business. It purely is a franchise. So what are you going to do to grow the franchise? And I don't see where any of that happens under the current ownership, which is why that would be why I'm the most frustrated as a Man United fan, if I were a Man United fan, right? Because you don't see, at least with the Qataris buying the club, you could see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Right. But now you just got kicked in the face and kicked back down the tunnel about 20 feet. Like, there's no light coming anytime soon.
Nope.
So, like, where do you go from here is my question. Like, where do you go, like, as a club? Where do you go from here? And it's like, it almost makes me feel bad for Ten Hag too, because now he's not going to get backed.
Nope.
Like, really?
Nope. I mean, I think there's another problem with Ten Hag personally, is that he is buying way too much of his previous predecessors. I.e., you look at the signings he's made, like Anthony, and I know he's brought in Lisandro Martinez, who's been very good for them. He's come in and done a job, but I think it's so difficult to run a team like Man United. They've now got Sir Jim that's coming out. Listen, Sir Jim seems like a nice guy. I do believe he is a Manchester United fan, but you just look at what he's been doing in Nice, and they've fallen off massively. Yeah. And in no disrespect to Nice, but you look at the difference in Nice compared to Manchester United. And even he's not even taking over Man United. He's taking over 25% of Man United, which is practically nothing. I think he's only involved in the sporting decisions now. Once he comes and takes the role, he's only involved in the sporting decisions of the club. Nothing actually majorly changing things about the club. That's still the Glazers. So and Sir Jim is getting, I don't know what it is, but I think it's 2025 or 2026 that he fully comes into the club, and that club's screwed, man. It's screwed. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think they've got the players to and I think they because they're like us. They get 200 million every single season. That I think I'll probably take back what I said earlier. I think the Glazers are a bit like the Cronkies, with where we are guaranteed 200 million every season. It's sort of like I wouldn't say. I remember Jez explained it perfectly, and we need to be on there again to explain it. But what I'm trying to say is we're guaranteed 200 million to spend every season. That's like when you go to the supermarket, you budget yourself £50 to spend every single week. That's what they're doing with this, and I think that's what they do with Manchester United as well. So you could say it's a case of, do they budget correctly in these said years to do something? But I don't see Man United, even with the players, I don't see them. Although they did win the Carabao Cup, I just don't see them fighting for likes of Premier League titles, for like the Champions League titles. And I can still see them getting in the top four. I know they've had a really crap season, but I can still see them doing that. But for Manchester United, that's not success. That's not that's not the levels of Manchester United. We all know that's not even the levels for Arsenal. If we really look at and the likes of Liverpool, they're in the Europa League. What was last season? That wasn't the levels, especially in recent, because they won the Premier League and the Champions League recently. So I think it's just a dark downward hill. I mean, at times, I know we had that massive problem with Stan Kroenke and the Kroenkes in general when the Super League came into effect, and obviously they wanted to be a part of it and all this kind of stuff, and we obviously revolted against that, and then it got shut down. But we're fortunate to currently have, you look at it, a manager who we are competing at the moment in the league again for the second year in a row, and hopefully with some silverware coming this season. But I think if you look at it in this sense, this is how I'm going to put it. Man United are currently in I'd now say a 3-year waiting process until anything is changed, i.e. Sir Jim comes in and does what he claims more of the club and all this kind of stuff. So they've got a 3-year period to wait for that, 2-3 years. Now, I'm going to name clubs that I think are going to do it, and I do unfortunately think one of them's going to be it. Look at the likes of Arsenal, Man City, Spurs, Brighton, Aston Villa, Liverpool. 7 teams just to name off the top of my head. I think, did I name Newcastle? 8 teams.
Yeah,
we're all going to be moving. We're all going to keep progressing. And Man United, in my opinion, are going to be stuck. They're going to be stood still. They're going to be on the same level, i.e., squad-wise, the way they play, the managers coming in and out. I think they're going to be stuck like this for a numerous amount of years. Whilst it could even be teams lower down the league, for example, like Brentford. Teams lower down can still be progressing, and Man United might just be stuck still.
I really do think that. I think that too, and I don't think they make Europe this season the way that they're playing. I really don't. And if they do make it, it's going to be a Europa League or squeaking into the Europa League or squeaking into the Conference League. They're not making Champions League this season, and that's not, like you said, that's an obligation at United. That's not a goal. It's an obligation. Winning trophies there is an obligation, whereas here at Arsenal, it's been a goal. It should be an obligation. Yeah. But at Man United, I mean, you're talking about the most decorated English club in ever. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you go Sir Alex Ferguson to this, and you've won 1 trophy in 10 years.
Yeah, that's one guy I feel sorry for. I know.
Yeah, I know. And then there's Sir Alex's legacy down the tube.
Yeah, I mean, he's on the board. I know he's on the board. I don't know if it's the board of directors, but he's involved. The problem with Sir Alex is I think it's unfortunate for them, because I think he's just too old to want to get involved in that now. He's in his retiring stage. He's getting set amount of money from the club every single year as sort of like a retirement plan. He's enjoying his retirement. He's just unfortunately chilling, watching this shit show every single week most of the time. No. So, but my point is, he's sat on the board, I think, but he doesn't actually have it's kind of mad, you think, one, if not the most successful manager in Premier League history, actually doesn't have that big of a role at Manchester United. He doesn't have that big of a say. It's crazy.
I truly think it's like it's more of a symbolic thing. He's on the board, but what is he actually doing?
Yeah, I know.
Other than sitting up in the box, waving at the crowd and watching the team.
I think it's just the fact he doesn't have the power to. He probably thinks a lot of things, which I 100% think he is. But I just don't believe he's in a position of power at the club to actually do something, which I think is crazy. You think he'd be higher up in the ranking, at least having a big say on the club. But I just don't see that. The only way I can see Manchester United changing, i.e. changing for the better in the next 3 years, even now, but it's not going to happen, because I don't think even Arsenal fans would do this. You've got to boycott the games. Don't go. Stand outside the stadium when the games are happening. Don't go.
Yeah. Where are those green and yellow scarves?
I know there's going to be a lot. Listen, it's with every single Premier League club. There's a lot of foreign fans that do come over from their countries to watch the games. So they will obviously, we're paying a lot of money. We're going to go in. But the team, for example, season ticket holders who are, for example, maybe in Manchester that go every single week. If you are really hating what's going on, you're on Twitter, you're making your opinion loud, you hate the Glazers, you hate everything about the club's rotten. When you got to do something about it. Boycott the games. Don't buy the merch. It's as simple as that. That is, if you want to make a difference, then you've got to start somewhere. But unfortunately,
they just haven't hit rock bottom yet. They haven't hit rock bottom yet.
Not just United. I don't think any football club would really do it, unless you're in lower leagues. I think where they've got a bit more. It's a bit harsh on all of us. I think they've got a bit more heart. They do more to get. And plus, in the lower leagues, they do earn less, the owners. So I think if, for example, if they didn't turn up to games, they'd be a bit more hurt because obviously they don't have big things like sponsors coming in and all this kind of stuff. The big sponsors like the Big Six earn in the Premier League. So that's the only way I can personally see United changing is if they boycott the games. But I don't think they're going to do it. Walk out in the 80th minute, something like that. But I don't see United fans doing that at all. They'll talk on Twitter saying, "Oh, we hate the club," all this and that, the Glazers, but I don't think they'll have the balls to just say we're not going to come to the games until something's changed. But
I really don't think
it's too late now.
It hasn't hit rock bottom yet, though, Connor. I think that there's still like a tinge of hope that they're going to turn it around.
What do you think's rock bottom, TJ, for United? Bar, you could say relegation, but I don't think.
No, it's not. It's not relegation. It's not relegation. Let's be honest. That's not going to happen. It's going to be mid-table, I'm talking like a 12th place finish.
Yeah, I agree.
I think 12th place finish, no Europe, no cups, no nothing like that. I think that is rock bottom. And then then you'll have people marching down to Old Trafford to protest. But until then, you're not going to see it. And honestly, I think Manchester United fans are going to eat off of those Prem championships for years and years and years. And I don't think that they've necessarily. I honestly don't think they've necessarily suffered enough. Does that make sense? I don't think they've suffered enough, and that I think that they need to suffer a little bit more before you start seeing people lining up, because you're not seeing a ton of protests, or at least I'm not seeing it online. I'm not seeing any Man United protests.
You have the odds, banner saying, "Oh, Glazers out." And all that.
So there are people doing that for the Kroenke still, and we're undefeated.
Listen, TJ, nothing. The Glazers, you can tell how much the Glazers have. If they are not going to accept a 5 on the spot, it was going to be 8 billion in total, but 5 billion on the spot. Big up, Ola. 5 billion on the spot deal. They are fine. They are absolute. They're chilling. They're in America. They're not coming over to it because they know if they even step foot in Manchester, they are finished. It is over for them. I think there's a game called Red Dead Redemption 2, if anyone knows. So you get a bounty. You get a bounty if you cause trouble in the areas. That's the Glazers in Manchester. They've got a bounty of dead or alive.
Yep, and the Pinkertons are coming for them. That's all I'm gonna say.
So, they are screwed if they come to Manchester. They're living their life, man. They're doing their thing, and Man United are just going to suffer in it. The only way that Man United, in my opinion, could at least do success is if that. The players and the manager block themselves out from it all and just work hard on the training pitch. That's all you can do at the end of the day, can you? It's 11 to 22 players, 11 on the pitch, 22, 24 players on the bench in total, having to do a job every week and trying their best. I mean, at the end of the day, you look at it, they have the quality. United have quality in their team to go ahead and at least compete for European football this season. There's no bullshitting about that. They've got the likes of Højlund who's coming, who's looking very good, by the way. Bruno Fernandes is still good in his day. People want to criticise Rashford at the moment. I think Rashford, as much as he's been very crap, he's still a very good player. Carried them. Hello. Carried them. Oh, I'm going to block him from the channel. I'm joking.
Oh man.
Carried them practically last year. Look at the stats he's got. And now all of a sudden they want him out, all this kind of stuff. But in my opinion, they've got the players to go ahead and do it, to at least get European football, whether that's Europa League or Conference League. But apart from that, I don't see any hope in terms of league titles and all this kind of stuff. So yeah.
And I was talking about this with Staffy the other day too. Is it's like you don't even see anybody in the youth system for Man United that you can get excited about. Like they really don't have name a youngster at United other than Garnacho. I you can get really excited about.
Leicester fella don't even look that decent, in all honesty. Sorry, United fans. I think the only two, because I don't watch United under 18s or 21, so I won't get called out for this. But Garnacho, and for me, that Manu fella looked all right. He played against us. He looked all right. But apart from that, no.
No, there's nothing. And then I think they were half expecting to come in and have Onana be that guy and block everything. But Hannibal. Hannibal was what I was
Hannibal
Hannibal is good, but I mean they don't have a Bukayo Saka, they don't have a Martinelli, they don't have the young talent that Arsenal have built off of for the past, 4 or 5 years. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like there's even less hope with the fact that they don't even have that really to fall back on. Pelistri. Yeah. Big up King Winter. I think you're new here. King Winter Soldier, big up my friend. Make sure that you're good. Make sure you're smashing the likes. Make sure you're subbing. I do want to shout out Alla for the super chat. Big up Alla. Yes, we are going to get them 3 points this weekend. I believe we are going to get to that here shortly. Another thing we wanted to touch on in chat, we got 22 inside. Make sure you're smashing the likes. These are insane numbers for the show. Great job. Thank you guys for being here. But question, I want to get people's thoughts on the TONALI incident, because I was talking to Connor about this backstage. I don't know enough. I don't know exactly what TONALI did versus what Ivan Toney did and how they actually equate with each other. So let me know what you guys think in the chat. Like, obviously TONALI's banned, or he's going to be banned if he's not already banned, right? Mm-hmm. And then we have get into this, Connor, because you were talking about it in detail in the back, and honestly, like I'm a little out of lunch on it.
I think, like, again, I'm not fully into the situation, but from what I've read and from what I've seen, it is another situation where he's been betting on his own team when he was at AC Milan. And he's admitted that his agents admitted that he's got a bad gambling addiction. So yeah, it's sort of the same situation as Ivan Toney, betting on his own team. He's not the only one. Zaniolo, part of Aston Villa, he was on loan at Aston Villa, has now been terminated because he's done the same situation. He's been betting. So he's off back to Turkey now, which is a bit of a shame for him. But then again, he wasn't making much of an impact in Aston Villa anyway. But yeah, no, TONALI could be facing up to a year ban. Ivan Toney had, I don't know exactly how many times he betted himself, but if you're facing up to a year and Ivan Toney only faced, 6 months, 7 months, you've obviously done a lot worse. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm not a gambler myself. I think gambling's a poor man's game. It's an idiot's game. I don't gamble myself. So I can't speak on it, how people get addicted to it. But I think it's just the thrill of it. But
it's the rush. It's absolutely the rush, the juice. I don't really gamble either. Like I'll throw a like a tenner on something that I know is like for fun, but I'm not like, it's the degenerative stuff that really will put you in the tank. And it sounds like TONALI and Toney really do have that issue.
Yeah, I think and you got to look at it from TONALI's point of view. I think it's a bit unfair. You got to look at it. Newcastle paid a lot of money for this guy, a lot of money. I know that's not down to TONALI. It's down to the clubs and the agent and all that kind of stuff. But you've gone for a hefty fee. You're one of the club star players now. They're in the Champions League, but it's just a thing of like, I don't know. I think it's very sad for the Newcastle fans. I think he was becoming a big fan favorite for them, and I think it's just such a shame for the Newcastle fans. This guy's come in. I think, was he a record signing for them? I think he's their record signing, isn't he?
Yeah, so, it was 70 million.
Yeah, it's a lot of money for a player. And you think, I would have thought this would have been brought up beforehand. But then again, people like to keep these things on the lowdown, so I can understand it. But it's a shame, man, because you've paid a lot of money for this guy, and he should know himself that, oh my God, there's 41 people in here. Big up to you.
Big up 41 people. Make sure you're smashing the likes. Keep going, though. What are you saying?
What I say before I get ruined. I think it's such a disappointment in himself. I think, like I said, the club have paid a lot of money for you. You're one of their star players, and now you could be possibly out for a year. You've got to be, you're an adult. You've got to be thinking more sensibly here. That's a lot of money that this club's paid for you. You're on big wages at this club. I feel sorry for the Newcastle fans. You've got this guy who's come in, and now he could be possibly out for a year, not even if not more. And then don't forget, although they are, Newcastle could probably replace him very easily. It is still intense, a lot of money to buy. It's not like he was 10 million. As much as that is a lot of money, Jesus, I'd love 10 million. But in terms of QPR, in terms of, as I'm reading chats there, in terms of football status, sorry. And it's a lot of money, 70 million plus wages. I just think it's disappointing, and I hope to God that our players aren't that stupid to do something like that, honestly. Because I know it's happened a lot more with some of the other Italian players as well, and I think there's a lot more players. And it's I don't know.
These are just the guys that are getting caught, Connor. That's the thing, is that there are people. If these are the guys that are getting caught, they're getting caught in numbers now. How many people are not getting caught? That's another question. And there could be little things. I'm not just talking about players. I'm talking about referees. I'm talking about coaches as well. Yeah. Like, and if this is a true story, like I'm okay with sports gambling. I am okay. Like, I think it's a fun part of the game as long as you do it responsibly, like any other vice. Right.
Yeah.
But there are like Steven was saying and Gunnar ER was saying, right, is that this could be the worst addiction, because you can find yourself penniless if you can't get a hold of yourself, right? And that's really a true thing. And if we're kind of being, it's, how do I say this? It's hypocritical of the Premier League to be putting out to be allowing for all these betting advertisers on kits. There's Premier League, like fantasy leagues and things like that involve money out there, blah, 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 blah. So at what point does the Premier League have to come in here and say, hey, you know what, we're separating ourselves from this? I think they are trying to get rid of gambling advertisements on shirts and things like that. But how can you punish somebody on one hand for gambling, but then take money from, William Hill, Bet365, all these other different gambling sites on another side? So it's one of those things. And yeah. So and this too.
Yeah, Ola, I completely agree with you, man.
Ola, I completely agree with you, man. I completely agree with you, man.
Yeah, could be something. Yeah.
Justice is not colorblind.
That's another thing. They're doing all these things to try and support things like this, in terms of what Ola's talking about there. We do things at the start of games, and now you look at this and you think, So, listen, at the end of the day, the only right thing that can be done here is that he gets given the same amount of games missed, months missed, as Tony did, if not more. It's as simple as that. And hopefully, this now, I hope, as sad and as bad it is that players are gambling like this, hopefully it's a wake-up call to players that are just kicking off in their... And I don't think... But then again, we don't know these players, but look at the likes of Saka, to talk about Arsenal, Martinelli, Saliba.
Yes.
They could be looking at players like Ivan Toney and thinking, and Tonali, and thinking, right, I don't want to be like these guys at all. So hopefully it's a learning curve for a lot of young players coming in, because I can completely understand it. If I was earning 300 grand a week, or at a massive club, 250 grand, I'd be thinking, I'm going to do anything to, because I've never had this money before in my life. And I do think a part of it comes into play, because you look at Tonali and he is quite young. I can't remember I can't remember what Italian club he started off at. I know someone in the chat could probably tell me, but then he went to AC Milan. That's a big step, a big pay rise. And I wouldn't be surprised that was part of the reason why he started gambling, because the money you get, you've never experienced that kind of money in your pocket before. And that's another thing why I think players are paid too much. And I think that they should be lowered, in my opinion, especially players who are on the bench most weeks. They still get their money coming in. And I think it's too much. And I think then it goes on that it leads to a gambling addiction. And I think that's definitely a huge part of it as well, the amount of money these guys get paid. But Jimmy, big up it. Yeah, that was that. So
and it's it's another one of those things where it could come down to education as well. There's a lot of especially in the NFL, they had this issue. There's been documentaries about it where these people, players that come from poorer circumstances, right, a lower economic standing, things like that, they start making all this money and they don't know what to do with it. So they go out, they start buying cars, they start buying houses, they start getting the most expensive hotel rooms, the most expensive jewelry, things like that, things that depreciate, right? Things that don't necessarily hold their value. And then all of a sudden, by the end of their, they were never taught money management, and by the end of their career, they're broke. Right. It's no different in the English game. It's no different. I mean, I think for any athlete that isn't properly educated on money management or doesn't have an accountant to reel them in, it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem, and you can relate it to the gambling thing. Obviously, gambling is an addiction. It is a vice, and it's a very, very serious thing. But money management, you were nailed on, Connor. That money management, more money than they've ever seen in their entire lives. They don't know what to do with it, and they don't really have anybody. I highly doubt they have anybody in the club. When you're an 18-year-old kid, well, say you're 24 years old and you're Eddie and Kedia type, and you've never seen this kind of money before, and nobody taught you how to deal with it. What do you expect you to do? When I was 21, I was an idiot. Like I was an absolute moron. Like I wouldn't know what to do with that kind of money.
No.
You know what I mean?
So
I know I'm waffling a little bit, but you know what I mean?
I can agree from a standpoint. If that was me, and I'm going to be completely honest here. If I was currently on a job that I was getting paid 100 grand a week, right? Say I've been doing this job for 2 months. I'm getting 100 grand a week. Say I've got 800 grand in my account right now to spend. I would be going out and doing as much as I can with it. Maybe I'd save a bit because I'm a bit I'm a bit sensible. I like to save stuff
because you were raised that way.
Yeah, but as a youngster, and especially with when you're my age, and I guess a lot of people in the chat can agree as well, who are 20 or older. Even if you're younger than that, because some of the players there's been players that are 18 that have received a lot of money. You look at Garnacho for United; he's on big wages for them at the moment. So that's another thing. But if I'm on that much money, I'm not just keeping it waiting to go like, what do I do with it? I'm going out and I'm spending it. But it should. I maybe another thing to get him to bring into now Premier League teams. I don't know if they already have it as counsellors help to have if you need to go speak to someone. I do think they have it in clubs. I'm not too sure, but more counsellors, more help players can go to. It might not just be drug addictions. It can be any type of addiction. So. They're not drug addictions, gambling addictions. Sorry, it can be any kind of. It could be gambling, it could be drugs, it could be anything. So maybe they need to bring that more into Premier League clubs because I will stand by it. I will say it again. I do think the amount of money that these players are earning, especially at such young ages, I think are affecting them mentally, and I think are making them think that they can do whatever they want. Look at the situations, TJ, with players going out and thinking they can do what they want with women. So just because they got all this money.
Correct. There's a lot of privilege, like or assumed privilege that comes with that kind of thing.
As soon as they get some money and they're rich, they feel like they can do whatever they want. That's another thing that comes with this big money. So I think that, and I know they're going to keep going up every year, every 5 years. The wages are going to go high. 300 grand now in 2029 is we're going to be the standard for players, for footballers.
Oh, 100%
standard, like a normal wage. So something's got to be done about it. And I think I know they won't, but I'd lower them. They've got to be lowered, and not just a case of just because of addictions, in helping staff at the club get them paid more. Things outside the club, the fan bases, something to do with that to help. If it's to do with the football club, help the club out more. Don't just give it all to, as much as we love these players and we love watching them and everything they do for our clubs. It's so much money, and I hope that this now brings more light to it because I do think more players will unfortunately be exposed to this.
No, I agree with you. And look, like somebody made a point in the chat saying, does it depend on how you grew up, where you grew up? I think it definitely depends on how you grew up, but it also depends on the era that you grew up in too. My grandparents grew up in the Great Depression, right? So they saved money, like literally stuffed money under their mattresses and things like that. But if you grew up in the 90s where there was a boom, like you're maybe not necessarily thinking that way. If you grew up in a different era, you might not, because that definitely influences you. But it's also how you were raised and the education. I always go back to this. It's always about education. What you are taught as a kid that can get lodged into your brain and say, okay, this is right and this is wrong. This is how I should manage this, and this is how I shouldn't manage that. Like, I really do believe that education and the lack of education is a cause of this problem. But hey, at the end of the day, these people are making money and people are losing money, and it's unfortunately it's a sad state. It's the way it is. But that's just kind of my thoughts.
It's kind of crazy. You'd think that and I'm sorry because I know. As much as I want Ivan Toney to come to the club, and I do think Tonali is a great player, and there's probably way more. I think Trippier had the exact same thing.
He did have a problem.
He gambled on more games, I think, but I think they just back back then it wasn't the biggest thing, and now it's coming up to things. They're bringing more bans, but you've got to be a bit of an idiot. And I know people actually have addictions, I understand, but I'm about to say why. You've got to be a bit of an idiot to gamble on your own team and think you're not going to get caught out by it. On the team, I mean, you've got to be a bit of an idiot, you know. And don't get me wrong, especially if you're gambling on yourself in a game. But the thing I don't get is you've got, and I know people want to double their money, but I'm talking about footballers here that earn a lot of money. Why do you want to? You're getting so much from your clubs every single week, which people like us in the chat would kill for. You know, the lower minority of people in society, like myself, would kill for this money. But I wouldn't be so stupid to go ahead and then gamble it, not just on myself, but it just feels wrong, you know. And the fact that imagine, for example, you gambled on yourself to get a red card in the game. Not only are you an idiot and a moron for doing that, but you're also affecting the club, the fans who are watching the game, and possibly the game and your team. You know, so hey, I don't know. I just think, and I'm sorry, and it's true, they're idiots. As much as I love their footballing abilities and them as footballers, they're idiots, and I hope they learn from it. And I think Ivan Toney definitely has learned from it, and I hope TONALI does as well, because he is still very young. And I hope more players out there who are thinking of doing it don't, and they see this now. So yeah, that's what I got to say on it, really.
Yeah. No, facts. No, and it's a conversation that needs to absolutely be had. And yeah, I think Connor absolutely nailed it as well, JJ. We have 35 inside. Make sure you guys are smashing likes up. Make sure you are subbing if you are new. We are on the road to 1K, which, by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed before we start talking Chelsea and Arsenal a little bit here to close the show out. I got the mugs in today. Okay, so Drew Gunner, if you're still here, look at this. Look at this thing. Look at how clean that is. Obviously, it doesn't have the cannon in it, but I kind of like it. I think it looks clean. Like, look at that.
Love it, man.
This will be for the foreseeable. This will be the only bit of TJ Warren TV merch. So Carl Rossi and Drew Gunner TV will have this, and then or Drew Gunner, sorry, and then we have Connor, me, and Dal have one. So yeah, we'll be rolling these out, and we'll be putting them. So if you guys cry out for more of these, let me know. We may be able to work something out.
If you get us to 1,000 subs, we'll do another one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Get us to 1,000 subs. I'll buy 10 of them and give them away if we get to 1,000 subs. That would be absolutely insane.
What's up?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I'm gonna drink out of all of them before I put them out. Tony, you are gross, bro. You are absolutely gross. Oh my god. All right.
Should we go to Chelsea?
Yeah, let's talk a little Chelsea here. Obviously we have Chelsea at the Bridge coming up on Saturday. Is that the what time is that game? Is that the 3 o'clock?
5:30.
5:30? Okay, good. I
don't have to get it's meant, you know, it's a London derby, and you think, oh, that's the main evening event, and you got 8 o'clock, and you got Man United v Sheffield. You know, so I don't know.
Well, no. Why is there only one? Why is there only one match on Sunday? That's one thing I didn't get. Like, why is that?
Europe. I don't know if it's to do with Europe or something like that, because we're playing in the Champions League, and I don't know if they're trying to. Maybe it's to do with viewing numbers. Someone tell me in the chat. I just think they're trying to earn more money. I really don't know. So yeah, at the end of the day, I get to listen. As long as I get to watch my team on telly with my subscription with Sky, then I don't care. So yeah, that's
just absolutely ridiculous to me. But yeah, all right. So let's talk about Chelsea and let's talk about their injuries. I mean,
yeah. Let's load them up, actually. Should we load up?
Yeah, load them up. Do you have a list? I was like, while I was talking, I was kind of trying to find a list, but there are so many on there. So you got like Ben Chilwell, Badiashile, Chalobah, Nkunku.
So many.
Like, there's so many. Wesley Fofana. Like, it's one of those things where, like, yeah, am I overlooking Chelsea a little bit? No, I'm not going to overlook Chelsea just because Arsenal is going to be an easy game for Chelsea to get up for at the Bridge. Like that, that is the way it is. I never look past Chelsea. Obviously, we beat them the last 4 times at the Bridge.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like we have a great record there, but I never want to look past them. Like, I don't think that Chelsea in their current state are any worse or better than any mid-table team that we've drawn against or have had issues handling. So people are going to ask me, oh, TJ, are you confident? Like, yes, I think we should win. But at the same time, it's still Chelsea. It's still Mauricio Pochettino. Pochettino has a very good record against Arsenal. So, you can't discount these things. That's why I'm not getting overgassed about it. But yeah, let's read this off. Read this off. Holy crap.
Yeah, so it's kind of mad compared to us. Listen, at the end of the day, but the one thing I don't want to hear is, right, because if we play Chelsea, because we know our last games with Chelsea, our last 6 have been wins against Chelsea. Our 6 out of 7 have been wins. So I don't want to go into this game and say, oh, but you only beat Chelsea. And I know certain person still will be saying, oh, but they had injuries. Oh, like if we win this game.
Yeah.
I'm not jinxing it. If we win this game, I'm like, no, because he didn't have this, he didn't have that. We still beat them. So still, if you're watching, because I know you'll say it because you're a fraud.
He's watching. He always watches.
You will say that, so I don't want to hear it. Anyway, so Malang Sarr, I think that I can't even see that guy play, so I don't know what's going on with him. Wesley Fofana, as we all know, massive ACL injury, back next year. We all know about that. We know they're defensively, they are so worn out. It's crazy. Like the likes of Chalobah is out, Reece James is out, Chilwell is out. Disasi, if that's how you pronounce it, is out. So many defensive options, practically all of them. So I think remaining, they've got Cucurella, Thiago Silva. 2 seconds. Bear with me.
You're doing better than I am.
Cucurella, Thiago Silva. They've got Levi Colwill. That was it. Gusto and Matson. So they only have available first team 1, 2, 3, 5 defensive starters. That's 4 players, unless they do it 3 at the back. 4 players and 1 on the bench. So defensively, and especially if Arteta really wants to show that he wants to go for this league, and I know it's Chelsea and I get that, it's at the bridge, we've got to be smashing them. We've got a fully fit team, and I do think Leo Trossard will be on the bench for it. Obviously, Timber won't be there. But we have got to be smashing these guys. We have to.
No, I agree.
I mean, I agree. As much as Nicholas Jackson's been out, I'm sorry, Nicholas Jackson's been coming in. He's been doing a good job. They don't have Nkunku. I thought he'd be a really good player for them. Hasn't even played a single game apart from a friendly. So they're missing so much, TJ. A lot. They're missing a lot.
Yeah, and I just don't see where their goals come from. I predicted a 2-0, and I think I'm going to stick with that just because we just haven't been scoring the way I think we're going to, and hopefully we come out of that a little bit. I really do think we need to go at these guys. I was asked last night on Sarcasm City if I thought we should go a little bit defensively, or if I think we should go at them. I think even if we go with a 4-2-3-1, we have enough going forward to beat them. But especially with the weak inside that they have, I wouldn't be surprised if Arteta goes with a 4-3-3, and then you see Havertz get a start like a freaking Disney movie. He goes back to the bridge and starts scoring.
Imagine the scenes. Everyone's talking about if Mudryk scores. What about Havertz scores?
Dude, didn't Mudryk just score his first goal for Ukraine against Malta?
And then business now,
no. He's opened his account for Ukraine. I'm like, what? You're playing against Malta electricians and plumbers. These guys, football is not what these guys do. No. You would expect Ukraine to go in there and slap them. Really? We're knee sliding against Malta.
This is quite funny. This is true. So Zinchenko done an interview and it says, I told it. That's a Ukrainian
thing.
Listen, I've got to say, right? We all know about Zinchenko's defensive game. If he's saying that to Mudryk, and as much as I don't rate Mudryk could have a day. Very true, very true. Listen, he got an assist. He might add a goal onto it. We don't know. Bar a penalty. Anyway, what I was saying was, we know Zinchenko defensively isn't great. If you're saying that, and you may be facing him on your side on the weekend, right? You've got to have your A game on, bro. If you're saying you can't score against me, you've got to have your A game, Zinchenko, on the weekend, bro. So that's what I'm saying. But I already know for a fact if I completely chat shit about Mudryk, he's going to score. So I'm not going to do that. And I know I'm going to get clipped. So I'm not going to do that. But in my opinion, I don't see why we can't go there and literally smash these guys. I know it's Pochettino. I know he has history of Arsenal. But you look at that injury list and the crucial players that they have missing. And I look at it more as a defensive side of things. Cucurella ain't that great. Thiago Silva, I still think is pretty solid, but can't do it on his own. You know, I think who else have they got? I think I missed out a player, by the way.
So they're going to have Cucurella on the left. Who are they going to have on the right?
No, I think they'll have Colwill on the left.
Oh, okay.
Colwill on the left. I think they'll have Thiago Silva, and then they'll have who are the other ones that they got?
I thought Cucurella had played on the left, but I could be wrong.
I don't even know. I think let me have a look at the team that they went with.
Yeah, let's start pulling up because I gotta start heading out of here in probably about 10 minutes. Let's look at this and do a little combined 11 in the chat. Let's see what the chat says as well.
We'll have a quick look. We'll literally do this for about 2 minutes.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so Cucurella is playing on the right. All right.
On the right, yeah, because they literally have no other option apart from Gusto.
Okay.
The Sassi's out. You got to remember that. So maybe Colwill will go back into centre back. I think they'll do Cucurella left back, Silva, Colwill, and then they'll do Gusto at right back, and then it'll be the same midfield and the same attack. That'll be the team they go for. So if we look at that, that's going to be their team that I think they're going to go for. And we'll replace the Sassi for Gusto. So let's go ahead and do a combined.
Yeah, let's do a little combined 11. And I see Mr. Post Office is already getting it in here. Hey, big up everybody inside, by the way. We have had an incredible viewership for this show. This show is taking off like I knew it would. So make sure everybody, you are smashing the likes up. I think everybody, and honestly, Connor, I think everybody's so happy that the international break is over. And I count me amongst them.
Me too,
because it is just dead, and I do not care about it. Like I'll do watch alongs for the US, but I genuinely don't care.
I saw your 4-0 win the other day against Ghana. Party got turned inside out, upside down. That Balogun goal. Wow. Was it good?
Wow. Go watch the highlights.
We're missing out. Wow. And we're missing out on this guy, eh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Shocker. Right. Don't get me started on that. I got to go back to work at some point. Don't get me started on that.
Should we get into it? Right.
Yes, let's do it. Okay.
Hit the goalkeeper. Yes, hit the goalkeeper. They've got Robert Sanchez, who I think's awful, and so it's easily between Ramsdale and Raya. I do not mind who. CJ, who are you going to go for? Should we go with Raya? Is he probably going to start?
I'm going. Yeah, it's that Raya is definitely starting. Yeah,
let's go with Raya.
Raya's going to start this game.
Robert Sanchez is, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then but when we do play not Brentford. We do play West Ham in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
So expect Ramsdale to start that one though.
Yep. Right back. I will. Listen, I know they've got injuries, and we're not. By the way, we're not doing current. I think it's fair that we do overall because Chelsea have a lot of injuries, and I hate this current BS. I would do a season one, come end of season. I hate the current stuff. Oh, but that's current form, blah blah blah. I like to do the overall, and I think it's pretty easily that. Or actually,
I don't think it's easy at all.
No, but I'm trying to think. We're playing these guys on the weekend. We should do 11 of the guys that are in the team, though, shouldn't we?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that. Yeah.
Let me shut up. Ben White.
It has to be Ben White.
Yeah, it has to be Ben White, doesn't it? Yeah. Gusto. As much as Gusto he's been getting me points in when he has played in Premier League Fantasy. Ben White's better. So
yes,
I'm gonna go.
Without a doubt.
Now, controversial here. I'm gonna go with mine, and you go with your two centre back pairing. I'm going to go, listen, I'm sorry, chat, and I love Gabriel. I'm going to go with Saliba and Thiago Silva. I just think Thiago Silva is still a solid, great centre-back.
I think you're being nice to Chelsea is what I think you're doing.
I'm going with Saliba and Silva.
Okay.
What are you going to go with?
Silva, I disagree.
It's our first disagreement.
But it's one of those things where Silva is one of the best center mids to ever play, or center backs to ever play. So it's one of those things where I don't disagree with you on the whole of the career, but in current form, I mean, Gabriel is just the man. So we could do Silva because I don't know where a lot of other Chelsea players get in and unless maybe like one guy in the.
I've got one guy coming up that I think should definitely be in here. I've got one guy coming up, but we'll wait for that.
Yeah,
I think Silva.
Big up Power Rossi for the super chat. Chelsea, the only club to have a cringier song than North London Forever. I don't think North London Forever is even close.
I'm being fair because I know we'll have Chelsea fans or other people saying, "Oh, but this and that." I'm personally going for Thiago Silva because I do think he is a solid. I'm putting Gabriel in. I'm putting Gabriel. Because I know for a fact I'm going to get rinsed. But if we're doing current form, then I guess it has to be Gabriel.
Yeah, I mean, just current form. It is what it is. I mean, then don't listen to them. You're not proper Chelsea. Don't listen to them, Connor.
I was only being fair. You cannot deny that Silva is a fantastic centre back. Probably one of the best for Brazil, if not the best for Brazil in recent times. So I think it's fair that we put him in. Now, left back, TJ. Now, if we look at it, stats-wise, Chilwell's just got injured. And you think of a left back and you think, as much as they are good, you want them defensive, they go forward, they get assists. Zinchenko so far this season has 0 goals, 0 assists. Chilwell has 0 goals and 1 assist. I take that makes Chilwell better.
I mean, not necessarily, in my opinion. I think Zinchenko has only put 1 foot wrong, and I thought defensively, I think he's been okay. Like you saw him make that error against Lens. There were a lot of errors in that passage of play, but that wasn't necessarily in the league. I don't think Zinchenko has really had a bad. I can't believe I'm saying this. If I had said this 6 months ago, I would have punched myself in the face. But I don't think Zinchenko has had a bad game in the league yet. So,
do you know what? Let's also.
But I get where you're coming from a Chilwell perspective. Like, he is a true left back. Like a lot of these games, Arsenal is playing 3 at the back with Gabriel kind of playing a back 3, the left side of a back 3 when Zinchenko decides he's going to start taking the ball up the field. So it's one of those things where I will go with Chilwell just because I think he is a true left back as a left back is defined.
Yeah.
And he does have that assist.
I've put in a poll.
Put in a poll. Yes. Let the crowd decide. Let them stop.
Chilwell. Let's go Chilwell or Zinchenko. Currently, Chilwell is winning, so we'll go with that.
Chilwell's definitely going to win that. We got a lot of anti-Zinchenko's. Like,
we've got 8 votes.
I've seen Krychenko all the way up and down the freaking chat.
We've got 8 votes, 9 votes. It looks like Chilwell is the winner there. So we will.
All right, we'll go ahead and put Chilwell in there. Make sure you guys are smashing the likes. This chat is hilarious.
Yeah, let's go. We'll go.
No, and I'm not denying Mr. Postov as like Zinchenko has been good. He has been very good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So let's go out there. So
right.
let's go. Do you know what? We'll let you go. What's your midfield, TJ? What's your midfield with combined 11?
Ooh. Rice, obviously.
Yep.
Odegaard. And I'm trying to be nice and hit a Chelsea.
Be nice,
I'm either between. Well, I don't think Caicedo has necessarily done well there, so I don't want to put Caicedo in there. So I'm thinking like, let's be nice and put Enzo in there.
I think Enzo deserves to be in there. I think Enzo is the little shining light that Chelsea have left in that team.
No,
so
I agree.
For me personally, I'm going to go for, in terms of current form, I'm going to go for Declan Rice. As much as people want to say, oh, he's this, he's that, Declan Rice goes in for me. Jamino, I know you don't like.
That's so funny.
We're currently doing current form, and I'm sorry, Caicedo has been shit for Chelsea.
He has been
shit. We're doing overall. I definitely think about him in there because for Brighton, we all know he was fantastic. So for me, current form, I'm going to go with Enzo because I think Enzo's been at least a little bit of a shining light for Chelsea. I'm going to put in Declan Rice for me personally.
Yeah,
it has to be Martin Odegaard.
It has to be Odegaard. Like,
it hasn't been fantastic for us. Look at the options that Chelsea have had so far this season, and then look at compared to us. Odegaard sort of automatically goes in there. Do you agree with that, TJ? Would you change it?
No, that's exactly. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you.
So we'll stick with that then.
Yeah.
Let's go for the right wing. What will you go for?
Calm down, Gurniar. Calm down. Good Lord.
What would you go for right wing? TJ?
Yeah. Who else would be in Odegaard's position anyway? Go ahead. Left wing.
Let's go for right wing because I think it's pretty easy.
Right wing. Oh, Saka. All day, every day. It's not even a question.
Yeah, I mean, was it Mukiele? I think has been written off. I don't know what has happened to him. But he's sort of been written off since Poch came in, so I think it's pretty obvious.
Lavia's injured, Ram. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's very true. Now, let's look at it, right? And Martinelli, what's his stat? I don't think he's only. Has he only got?
I think he's playing. He can play. He's fit.
He's got 1 goal, 2 assists so far this season. Even if we wanted to think about, I mean, Raheem Sterling has 3 goals so far this season, even though we know he's not fantastic. But you know, I look at the likes of Chelsea. And when I have been watching Chelsea again, I'm trying not to be biased here because as much as we're Arsenal fans, I like to be fair. And I know we've got mixed scripts. We'll wrap up in a sec. But I think Nicholas Jackson has been good for Chelsea. I think he's been a very decent player for Chelsea. And as much as we look at it, and obviously Nketiah goes nowhere near the team. You know, Jackson has got an extra goal over Gabriel Jesus. So I'm weighing it up here. Now, I've got the debate up for Martinelli or Sterling based on this season. And we know, TJ, that Martinelli has not been at his best.
He's been injured too.
Exactly. So Sterling's played all of the games. He's got 3 goals. Do we throw Sterling in there? What do you think about that? Do we throw it to the chat? Do we throw it to the chat?
I want to.
What do you think?
So I think this is tougher than I thought it was going to be because 9, yeah, it kind of comes between Jackson and Jesus. Left wing, I didn't think would be this hard, but then again, we've really had a rotation.
I'll throw a debate in for Jesus.
Yeah, throw a debate, throw a poll out there. But honestly, I think he hasn't had good games lately, but I think Trossard needs to be talked about a little bit more, just because he has been filling in on the left wing really well with Martinelli out. Big up Jaminho. Yeah, we're on the same page. I really do think that Trossard needs to be considered. I'm not saying that he is the out and out winner, but like, don't let the last 2 Prem games where Trossard, I think we can all agree, Trossard has underperformed. Say, let you know. Inform your decision. Like if I were to say, okay, like who is going to go out there in this starting 11 and score me goals between Sterling and Martinelli, and I'm going to go with Martinelli.
Okay.
Like if you're gonna do that, but if we're going off of stats and what I've seen, like eye test merchant things, you put a gun to my head, I'm putting Trossard in there. Gun to my head.
It looks like Jesus has won the debate there.
Of course he has. Jesus, my striker.
Put Jesus in there. So big up for chat for that. We'll do one more chat. We will do. Do we do Martinelli? I mean, listen.
Put all 3 of them in there.
Okay, cool. Let's put all 3 of them in. Fuck it.
Yeah. I like how we're like sitting on the fence. Like
because I do think these players. I'm not putting Mudryk in there because I'm sorry. I know he got a goal, but I don't think he's good enough. Yeah. But I just, I like to be fair. As much as Chelsea, we don't like them. They are another neighbour of ours, which we do dislike. You got to look at it realistically. And Sterling has had more goals than both Trossard and Martinelli combined so far this season. So throw it in there, chat. Vote for who you think should be in left wing. I think we know, although it is an Arsenal chat, I think we do know who's probably going to go in it. And we've already got 8 votes so far. And Martinelli has quite easily, won this one. So I think we'll throw Martinelli in there. Now, one last one, because I know we had this earlier and I know we didn't do it. I'm going to throw in the Thiago Silva and Gabriel debate. So big up for the 10 people for voting. We've gone with Martinelli for that one. I think just to see
the chat. Yeah, no. The chat was pissed that we chose Gabriel.
So chat, vote for
battle of the Brazilians here, guys. Yeah. Battle of the Brazilians.
Listen, you've got to be fair because I do think Thiago Silva has still been a bit of a shining light for Chelsea this season. So that's why I throw him in there over Gabriel. But chat, you decide. Last one. And this will be the 11. It's 50-50. Oh my God.
Pause, girl. I love polls.
Yeah. Okay, come on, guys. We need a deciding vote. We can't go 50-50 here. We can't go 50-50.
Yeah, we need one more. We've got 24 inside. Do we have 12 votes or 24 votes? I don't think so.
6 votes so far. Come on, guys. We need you to vote. Gabriel's got an extra. It's gone back to 50-50. Thiago Silva, Gabriel, 50-50. It's 8 votes. I'm going to throw Thiago Silva in there because I think it's fair. 50,
all right, throw Thiago Silva in there. That's fine.
Get one Chelsea in there.
I don't want to be viewed as biased, but sometimes I am. I just think that this is like Chelsea just aren't that great.
I'm denying the facts that Gabriel is one of my favorite players at the club. I love Gabriel. He scored the other day for Brazil, by the way. Big up to him. But I've just got to put in Thiago Silva. So, chat, what do you think of the combined 11? I think it's a very good combined 11.
I think it's a good combined 11.
I think it's a fair one. I think,
and I don't think we can get. Yes, Connor. I don't think we can get accused of being biased.
No, not from that. No way. I think that is a fair judgment, and I think that midfield, although as much as I do like Partey, Enzo Fernandez, I think is a fantastic talent, and I think unfortunately Chelsea aren't producing at the moment. But I do think if they do produce or he goes to a better team, I think he'll be fantastic. Chilwell, I do think it's the better option at left back, and I still rate Thiago Silva at 39 years old. I think he's very good. So they want the Gunnar wants the manager. TJ
Arteta.
Current form or in total? I guess it means current form because it means what we're doing now. So it's got to be.
Yeah, no, it's Arteta. Like as much as Arteta's on probation with me, I'm getting splinters in my ass for being on the fence on this one. Arteta has to be, I think, the manager.
Yeah, we'll go with Arteta then. So that's the command.
Yeah, Gunnar running his anti-Arteta agendas. Look, Gunnar. Like I know, I get it.
I rate Poch. I think Poch is great. If we're basing it on current, George Graham, let's go. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But if we're basing it on current this season, and as much as I actually just suspected it, I do actually think it probably makes more sense, doesn't it? I think when we done it with Spurs, and literally we were just at the bit, I thought, oh, here we go, right. But yeah, I like that, and I think it's gone well. So I like that. And
I agree. And we should do this more. We should do this more often, man, on this show. This is hilarious. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So big up chat. Big up for getting involved, by the way. That was fun. And maybe we should do more polls and all that coming up as well. I think Carl was saying he likes the polls. So
yeah, we don't utilize the polls very much. No. So yeah, we should do that. Yeah, definitely we should do that. Don't. I am not your father, Rams. I am not your dad. I am nobody's dad. I would be the most irresponsible father. Eventually when I have my own kids, I'm sure I won't be responsible, but I'm very irresponsible right now.
I'm going to save.
I don't want anybody like dropping their kids off at my freaking doorstep either. Big up, Highbury's local Badger. Big up my guy. I see you in there. We're going to start wrapping up here, guys. We've been going for about an hour, and I got to get back to work.
You know what I'm going to do, TJ? I'm going to send our combined 11 to our Tottenham away group chat, and then watch how we get. Oh, you're fake.
No. Yeah, let's see how we get rinsed. Let's see how we get rinsed. Yeah, try to do more live streams. Trust me. Hey, no, we'll do more lives all the time. We're looking to do more lives on this channel. Obviously, like I know Connor's going on a bunch of different channels. He's thinking about starting his channel back up again. Yeah. I am. If you want to catch me, Two Spirit Penguin, because I think you are new, you can catch me on Tottenham Away in a half an hour, and you can catch me on Sarcasm City TV once or twice a week for me and Flawless's Thursday night show, Man United Arsenal show. So yeah, we're doing live streams all the time, and then obviously we'll have the match reaction for the Chelsea match.
Yep, I'll be on the one.
So yeah, plenty of content coming your way, guys. Plenty of content coming your way.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah. So Connor, let's start closing this thing down, man. We had a lot of good viewers this time. This is a lot of fun, bro.
I think people are loving it. I think people are loving the Let's Be Real show, man. We could have a new favorite. I don't think it takes over the American Idiots as much as I have a big ego sometimes. I do think American Idiots is prime TJ Warren TV, but we could be crawling. We could be crawling, and if we get up to maybe 30 episodes that we have with American Idiots. But thank you very much. Thank you everyone very much for tuning in. Sorry. You know where to find me, CMO.editing. I do editing for TJ. All this stuff I do for TJ, and I do for many other people. So that's my Instagram. You can find me on there. And if you need any editing, graphics work for any of your social medias, feel free to find me on there. And of course, TJ, thank you very much for having me back on our show. Really, I don't know why I say really thank you. It's our show, though, isn't it? So
it's our show. No, you don't need to thank me.
Yeah,
like so, you literally did all the work for this one. I just came in with a loud voice.
Yeah, I kind of enjoy it, actually. I kind of enjoy coming up with the topics and stuff. I find it a bit more...
But, less for me to do, man. I'm less. I curate like 3 or 4 other shows.
TV. It's Connor Warren TV tonight.
Yeah, Connor. Yeah, exactly. CMO Warren TV. But
big up to everyone in chat. Sorry, last thing, TJ. Big up to everyone in chat. And thank you very much, Ola and Carl, for the super chats earlier, man. Respect. Big up to you too, man. And thank you everyone else who came in and watched. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, big up. Yeah, and you smashed it, Connor. Of course he did. It's Connor. Give me a break. I also want to shout out Danny, who left a freaking 50 euro super chat on the 500 sub celebration show. So if you didn't catch that one, that was fun. I got a little drunk on that, not gonna lie. But we had a good time there. So I just want to say thanks to Danny for leaving that super chat. That was awesome. So yeah, of course, if you're watching this on playback, make sure that you are smashing the likes, leaving the comments. You disagree with our takes, with our combined 11, let us know in the comments. We reply to every single comment. Either Connor will reply, Dow will reply, or I will reply. Like, we always engage with you guys. So if you guys want to talk to us on there outside of the chat, feel free to drop a comment on the video. Make sure that you are smashing the likes. Make sure you are subbing if you are new. Catch me over on Tottenham Away here in about 15 minutes. I will, give me a second because I'm waffling now. I will redirect over to Tottenham Away. So just be patient. I'll be on there for about an hour, and then I'm going to need to go work because that's what I do now. That's all I do is work.
Time and money.
Yeah, absolutely. So hold on. Where are they? Yep. North London is ours. So yeah, you will be redirected to North London is ours. Make sure that when you get into the chat, guys, when you get into the chat, make sure that you write Stella's a fraud in all capital letters. Right? Stella's a fraud in the chat.
Didn't turn up, man.
Yeah.
That's not
exactly.
You might, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Stella turns up at midnight when the show's still going.
Yes, and yes, I am American. If you couldn't tell by the flag over my shoulder and my incredibly American accent. But yeah, all right, guys, we are out of here. Big up everybody in the chat. We will see you on Friday for the American Idiot Show. Later.